All right, so in this next clip, we're going to be taking a look at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. TC is going to be talking about the top 5 selling traditional folding knives, and I'll let him describe what it is he's going to be showing you.
We're going to be going over the top 5 traditional knife patterns. Now, I had a lot of ways that I could attack this. And what I decided to do was, because we could go by, what's been the most popular over the years, what's the most popular, most talked about online. But what I decided to do is, I guess, the most provable one, and go by our sales and the most popular patterns so far this year.
Okay, so that to me is the most important part of the video, because it tells you what it is, where they pulled their data from. So I think that people are just going to kind of come in and do a little bit of clickbait on it and just be like, oh, okay, well, what was number 1? And then end up finding out what it is. We've got the list from the top 6, actually.
Yeah.
We'll reveal that. But I just want people to understand that the amount of data that they pulled from this is probably misleading in terms of the actual popularity of the knives, because it's just too short a term.
Yeah, it's only 5 months, and there's been a Volt pattern release within that time. And everyone knows that bumps up the sale of a case knife, so it just seems a bit misleading on what the actual, best selling there is.
Right. So you've got the list there, Slippy. Why don't you tell us what it is?
Sure. So do you want to start from number 6 and work our way down?
Yeah, let's start at 6.
Yeah, cool. So at number 6, you have the Congress pattern. This is, it's a 2023 Volt release.
That's an obvious one, right? That stands out.
Yeah.
They've probably put out, I don't know how many handleable materials.
At least 6.
That they've released already. And they've got 2 versions of it, too. They got a 4-blade and a 2-blade.
A 2-blade, yeah.
Both of them are being considered the Vault pattern. So Case is going to be selling a lot of those this year, and that's not a pattern that's probably going to be in the top 5 at any other point.
No, it's probably one of the less sort of collected patterns, I would say. I enjoy a Congress knife, but I only have 2 in my collection. I don't have a lot.
So again, just sort of circumstances that kind of skew the results and the sales numbers to me, and so that makes it. This makes this list maybe not as accurate as it really should be. Yeah. And I'll point out one other thing when we get to it. But go ahead. What was number 5?
Yeah, number 5 we've got the toothpick.
So the toothpick. Okay. So I saw comments by Tobias on there, and he's pretty happy about this. Toothpick is one of his favorites.
He loves toothpick, doesn't he?
And he seems to think that he's had influence on the sales of the toothpick, but I think it really, again, is just something that has to do with a particular release coming out at a particular time, and the numbers reflecting that for sales this year. So,
but again, like we've already said, it's too soon into the year to be doing top 5 selling. It's just gone past the first quarter. It's not enough time.
Yeah, and I understand why they did it this way. Like you said, it was the most provable because they have the numbers to back it up. But
which it makes sense in that sort of retrospective.
What that tells me is TC was being lazy and didn't want to go back and look at all the sales figures from years and years in the past, which is fine. I mean, he's trying to make content. He's got time for that. But I just don't think that the list is going to reflect what the true popularity is.
Not 100% true popularity anyway. There's some ones in there that you'd expect, but not a lot of them. So number 4, we have the Sodbuster, another very popular pattern.
Yeah, and I kind of see this as maybe one of the more accurate results as far as what the list is saying. It's
definitely, I would put the Sodbuster in the top 5.
Yeah, I think it's
definitely a work knife. It's a proper utility knife. You can do whatever you want with it. It's inexpensive. Lots of brands make it, and it's just a reliable knife. So it would definitely be in the top 5.
I agree. I think this would be in there at any time, no matter how they did the numbers. Okay, what's next number?
Number 3, we have Barlow.
Barlow, again, I think it's probably a pattern that would fit in there, regardless of the situation.
Agreed.
Yeah, just.
It's a very popular pattern. It's a very traditional. It's going to sound weird me saying it, but it's a very traditional pattern, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like it's a very popular traditional pattern. Like loads of companies make it again. It seems to be a knife that I don't know anyone that doesn't like a Barlow. Everyone likes a Barlow.
Does RJ have any Barlows?
He must have Barlows.
Is RJ a Barlow hater?
Does RJ have Barlows?
No, he has a Barlow. He's got the Rough Rider Reserve 17.
Yeah, okay. So even
right.
RJ has a
But
Barlow.
he doesn't have. I don't think he has a lot of Barlows. But that's definitely one.
Okay, number 2, another one which I would consider to be definitely near the top, at least within the top 3, is a Trapper.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest selling patterns, without a doubt. There's no questioning it. I'm not a biggest fan of a Trapper, mainly just of the really long spay blade, but.
Yeah, and this gives me more ammunition against Tobias, because it's like, if your influence was so great, then why is the Trapper number 2?
Yeah.
That got failed to be mentioned, and I'm just taking shots at Tobias. I'm not. Yeah. I don't take this seriously at all. So take no offense, but yeah, it just is ridiculous to think that the toothpick is somehow more popular today because of Tobias. But it's a list that needs more data. It's just the sample size is too small.
Like, I'd be really interested to watch this video if he did it again at like November, December time. You know, when they can do a full year's sales on it.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee it would be completely different, minus maybe the Trapper and the Barlow and maybe the Sodbuster I've mentioned so far. But I think even 1 or 2 of those might get knocked out of the top 5 with other patterns that have released.
Right.
And then number 1, which is the strangest one for me, is the Camp King.
Yeah, I don't understand how that got where it is. Even with releases, I don't know how it got where it is, but that's cool.
It's not a vault pattern. I haven't seen any companies releasing, look at our new Camp King, minus maybe Rough Rider's classic Cinnamon Bone Stag. But even that, I think, was the end of last year. I don't think it was a 2023.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe they're including Victorinox in some of this stuff. Is that influencing the numbers? Like,
I wouldn't have thought that'd be classed as a camp knife, though.
I don't know. I think it comes down to how they're calculating that. Because if they're including Victorinox, then obviously that's going to boost.
It's going to be the top every time, yeah.
Yeah, so that's just a big question mark for me. I mean, we don't really have the insight for that to answer that question. But I could see if that was the case, that would definitely boost.
Definitely. There would be no question that it would be in the top 5 or in the top 3 if Victorinox is included in that sort of thing.
Right.
Just the amount of people. I don't know anyone that hasn't got a Victorinox.
Yeah.
Like even my parents have them, and they're not big knife people. They both have one.
Right.
It's a non-knife people knife, isn't it? Because it does other tasks as well.
It really is. It's just it's one of those that people are comfortable with because they've seen them so frequently, and then So I think
they're not stabby. They don't look sort of aggressive.
It's not an aggressive. Not an aggressive.
Yeah, it's not like this. You've got like a big clip point on it. It's a nice sort of simple spear point blade with other tools on it. So
you see that red handle and everybody's at ease,
we know what that is. Yeah, 100% fine.
Yeah.
And even better if you show them the A-lock scale and they're like, "Oh, look at that." So,
yeah, can't argue that one either.
No, definitely not.
I like a good A-locks. But I guess we have to talk about what's absent from the list, right?
Yeah.
I think the most obvious one, or the most glaring one, is the Stockman.
Yeah, it's quickly become, I think, my favourite pattern. I know you enjoy a sow belly Stockman, but the Stockman in general, like the wider ranges, in the recent months has quickly become a favourite pattern for me. It's sort of, I've gravitated towards it more than other patterns. I've started collecting more, and I'm surprised as hell for it not to be in the top 5.
Yeah. I've never really revealed this, but I guess I'll talk about it a little bit. I think one of the things that I like most about the Stockman is it's not an easy knife to make. It takes some artistry when you do it right. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. But I think Tony Bowes said this. It's not a knife for beginners. I think somewhere on an SMKW episode, the sales rep for Case mentioned that it's not a knife for beginners. So it takes some.
You have to angle the blades. Most Stockmans are on 2 blades. The spay and the super, you have to angle so they're not touching, otherwise they'd be like this. You have to sort of angle them so they're like this.
Yeah.
And to get that right without them touching or rubbing, it's precise like maths, really, isn't it? To get those angles correct.
It's, like I said, it's a work of art when they can do it right, you know. And to be fair, it's a work of art with a lot of the Swiss Army knives that they can do that, and they can do it so, you know, without fail almost. So it's just one of those knives that I gravitate towards because I feel like it's ready for any particular task you might want to throw at it. And,
well, you've got 3 separate blade types.
Yeah, and maybe I'm just one of those type of people that likes the right blade for the right task, whereas other people just throw whatever blade they've got at it, whatever task. I kind of get a little more particular about what blade I'm using for what task.
Yeah.
And
I always find as well carrying a Stockman and stuff like that. Whenever I brought them out in public, people they're not scared of it because they recognise the pattern. The same with a Swiss Army knife. It's one of those patterns you recognise.
It's got a little more familiarity to them with Not
but I've been out for coffee and I've been out for meals and stuff with friends, and I've had my Stockman on the table. Not one person's batted an eyelid. But if I had something else on there, you guarantee someone will bring something up because the UK are crazy about their knives.
Yeah. So was there anything else on the list that you were surprised wasn't there?
Anything else on the list for me I'm surprised wasn't there? Yeah, the canoe.
That would have been my answer as well.
I get it. Not a lot of people seem to carry them, but it's a really nice thought out pattern. You've got the canoe sort of shape on the bolsters hides the tangs, so it doesn't catch on your pocket.
Right. When it's done right.
Well,
there are knives
when it's done right, correct.
Yeah.
As well as that, the copperhead, another one.
Yeah.
That's another. I still would put the canoe higher than that, but the copperhead is definitely got to be a big seller. Especially the case one.
I think that might be an instance of one of those things like we were talking about with the numbers where there hasn't been one introduced for some amount of time, or maybe the one that was introduced isn't as popular as some of the other ones in the past. Like I can think of what was the latest copperhead release from Rough Rider? Can you think of what it is? I know the Cinnamon Stagbone, but that's been a while yet. But
is it the Tortoise Shell series? Is that it?
Yeah, the Tortoise Shell. I think maybe that wasn't a great seller. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's on the fringe. I don't even know if the Copperhead makes the top 5, but top 10, but top 5 maybe not.
Yeah. What about you? Any other ones? Bar the ones we mentioned?
The canoe was the one I was thinking. Yeah. But again, it comes down to the availability, like how many new canoes were released.
Yeah. I don't think Case have a
I'm actually kind of shocked that the Congress wasn't even higher. Like maybe they would even sell even more. But again, I don't really know how they configured the numbers, so that the camping knife thing is a little bit of a mystery to me. I don't know how that quite gets that high.
That is the weirdest one. Like I get the Congress, the toothpick I don't understand, but not as much as the Camp King. I really don't understand that one.
Yeah. So kudos to the video, to SMKW. I thought it was an interesting video.
I always like the stuff they put out.
Certainly like the content, like the idea, the concept of it. I just think maybe the ability to pull the numbers was not available to them the way they would have liked.
Yeah, please do it again at the end of the year. It'd be very interesting.
Try it again, and in December or something.
Yeah,
that'll be fun. But that's going to do it for me. I am Thrifty,
and I'm Slippy.
We'll see you next time. Take care.
Catch you soon, guys. Bye.